Oh, welcome back. It's our monthly segment with John Fausett from the National Weather Service. And I thought we would talk about something we've actually been dealing with a bit, which is fog and iciness on windshields. It's that time of year we have to deal with that kind of weather.
Right.
Definitely affects driving conditions a bit. And this Sunday, I was filling in for Dan Martinez, and we definitely saw our share of fog. Here's some video of what we saw. Driving conditions were rough out there, John. So talk a little bit about driving conditions when it's foggy outside to start off the bat.
Well, obviously, with lower visibilities, you need to be driving slower so you have enough time to stop if you come upon something you wouldn't normally see unless it was, full visibility.
Yeah.
So drive slower, obviously. That's number one, first and foremost. You have too many multi-car accidents as a result of fog, or, the other visibility restrictor would be dust. But this time of year, it's going to be fog. So that's number one.
And then also putting on your low beams, I know, is another good idea.
Right.
If you're driving out there. Your normal lights a lot of times will make it even harder to see outside. Now, we've got a lot of questions about fog. Why does it form some nights, not others? It's cold one evening, maybe it's rainy. Can you kind of discuss, the dynamics of why we see fog? We've got an explainer up here so people follow along.
General, you need the moisture, obviously. Fog is just like a cloud that forms on the ground. And you need the temperature to cool to a point where it's saturated. That's where the dew point and the air temperature are the same. Relative humidity, 100%. That's where the fog forms. It doesn't necessarily have to be that where you are if it's the type of fog that moves into an area. So here it's usually when there's moisture left from a storm and it clears out, and when it clears out the temperature can drop and reach that dew point temperature, get 100% relative humidity. That's one of the ways to get fog around here. Radiation fog, there's advection, there's all kinds of fog, by the way.
And, before we switch over to the ice discussion, I get a lot of questions, too, about something that's very cool for us to look at when we see maybe one side's cloudy and maybe a little foggy, and those clouds sort of spill over the Franklins. Talk a little about that.
Well, yes, you get, for example, today, the winds are coming out of the east. That means they're moving uphill on the east side of town, and as they move uphill, the air cools and it saturates and it becomes a cloud. And you see that on the east slopes, but on the west slopes, it is going downhill. As the air goes downhill, it starts to warm and dry out, and so the cloud kind of like dissipates, and it looks like it's just eating away as it's coming down the west side.
Which is
and it's pretty phenomenal.
A beautiful view. And then real quickly, we've got a graphic on the ice on windshields. This is a question we sometimes get. Why do I see ice on my windshield or frost when sometimes it's not even below freezing outside?
Well, the air temperature, officially 4 feet above the ground, that's the official way we read it, can be 3-4 degrees above freezing, but the solid surfaces, especially glass, things like that, can be freezing or below, because they can get colder quicker than the air. And so you have frost on your windshield and you think, oh man, it must have got down to 32 this morning. Not always.
Yeah.
Not always.
Well, just a heads up, folks. That's now you know. You might have to get into the car a few minutes early this time of year. Definitely had to do it this weekend. We'll have more information, of course, on winter weather coming up throughout the next few weeks. We'll be right back.